Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's fantastic and wonderful. Everything here is great. I have a topic to discuss today. Before I talk about it, I want to tell you that it's probably a little deeper than we've talked for a while. It's it's a lot less jovial than we've talked in a while. So if you're not interested in hearing a middle-aged man talk about feelings, maybe this isn't the video for you. But recently I had a friend reach out to me and ask me if he could share something that he wrote that he wanted to say, and I said sure. And this particular friend has gone through some shit this year. It's been a pretty bad year for him. It's been a pretty bad few years, truthfully, up here for him. And he reached out with this kind of nice letter talking about how his life is, where he's been over the last couple of years in the stages of his life, and that he was thankful for my friendship, and he was thankful that we connected and have maintained a sort of friendship, even though we've never met. We're just online friends. And it really kind of struck a chord with me because it's something that I've been considering. Well, I'm actually working on something of a letter like that myself for a friend of mine that I want to express my love and affection for, because this particular friend was there for me in a time when the rest of the world felt like it wasn't. And the thing is, the reason that the reason it feels so, not the reason, it feels weird. It's a part of me that I have yet to explore for a long time, and that is abandonment. Not necessarily that I feel abandoned. I've never really felt abandoned. My parents were always there. They might not have been involved in my life, but they were there. But I feel that I am capable of abandonment way too easily. Em has a family that is very large. She has a lot of cousins, a lot of uncles, and she knows all of them, and she talks to all of them, and she calls them, and they communicate, and they do things for each other. And I've never been that person. There are family members that I grew up with that I don't talk to, even though we're very close family. Like, I just don't make time for them. I don't make time for my parents. Some of that is possibly intentional, but a lot of it is just completely. It's not something that's on my mind. My father's old. I mean, in today's standards, he's not, but he's medically old, right? Like he has a lot of conditions, and he's been through a lot of crap in the last decade. And I don't make time for him. I don't make time for my sister, who we've never really made time for each other. She's 4 years older than me, and for most of my adult life, I've had very little contact with her. This past year and a half, like, we've been spending, me and the kids have been going over to swim and stuff, and that's been the most amount of time I spent with my sister in my whole life, right? But on top of that, friends, it's too easy for me to just dismiss somebody and move on with my life, and I don't like that about myself. I've never liked it about myself. I have a couple of friends who have refused to give up on me, right? They will reach out to me every now and then, and they will say, "How are you doing?" And I don't remember the last time I did that for a friend, or if I ever have, right? I'm really bad about getting lost in myself, in my own world, in my collection of issues, in my collection of things that I don't have time to, that's not true. I definitely have the time. I don't make time to worry about other people's issues and problems, or worry about how my friends are doing, or worry about how my family's doing. And that sucks. It's a shitty way to live, right? It really is. And so when this friend reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I want to share something with you, and I don't expect a response. I just want you to read it." And I did, and it really hit home. Like, it was really like, made me stop and think. And I've had this stop and think many times in my life, you know. I've had this stop and think because I don't want regrets, right? You know, when my grandfather died, I had regrets. I had regrets that I didn't spend time with him, that I didn't take to heart most of the things he said. I had regrets because I didn't spend the time listening that I should have. And so he left this world with a whole lot of knowledge, a whole lot of information that I'll never recover, right? And I don't want to have those regrets. But at the same time, I find it nearly impossible. Like, I just don't think about that stuff. Like, I don't think about the people in my world. I lived in this neighborhood here, where this shed is, since 2012. I was the first person to move into this development. There are 19 houses here. I think actually 18. I don't know my neighbors. I know my immediate neighbor here. I know my immediate neighbor there. And I know the neighbor across the street. I don't know the rest of my neighbors. I don't know their names. I've barely met most of them. There are neighbors here I have not met. I have not even said hi to. And they've lived here for years. Because I just don't think about that, right? Like, they are people that live near me, but that's it. And by association, that doesn't mean I need to know anything about them, right? In my head. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't know, like, I've had neighbors tell me that other neighbors have thought that I was just kind of that guy that complained about everything because I don't talk to people. But the reality is I don't talk to people unless they talk to me first. It's so easy for me to just not talk. That's my default. Like, not associate with others is my default. I mean, Em can tell you that she gets frustrated because I don't talk. Like, unless she starts a conversation, very rarely does anything come out. And very rarely do we have that sort of deep communication unless she starts it. And I don't know where to begin working on that. I don't know where to begin letting myself think and worry about others. That seems like that saying it just makes it sound horrible, right? Like, I just don't think about or care about other people. That's not true. I'm not a narcissist like that. At least I don't think I am. I get immense levels of joy out of seeing happiness and contentment on other people. I just get trapped in myself way too easily. And that's something I need to think about. So, is this a confessional? I guess so. I guess it's a way of me saying I'm broken and there's something else I need to work on in my life. And I think that this feeds into something that I want to talk about maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. I've got to let things stew a little bit in my head. But I just wanted to share where I was at this moment in time in my life. I'm not done working on me. I haven't been done working on me for most of my life. There's still more me to fix. It's just the bigger problems have been resolved, and now I have to work on all these little things. So, that's what I have for you today. I don't know what that is. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is Hyperborean. It is a noun meaning a person or animal who lives at or near the North Pole. The polar bear, one of the great hyperboreans, is in danger of extinction as the melting of polar cap makes the ice flows on which they live disappear. Hyperborean. Hyperborean. I had no clue that's what that word meant. When I see Hyperborean, for some reason, I think there was some, funnily enough, Ice Age cards from the Magic the Gathering set that were named Hyperborean, and I just thought that was something made up by Magic.